Hi, I'm Sejong Kwon, Master's Student in English Literature Department at Yonsei University, and I will talk about the early modern reception of Machiavelli in this video. Many critics argue that early modern English writers misinterpret Machiavelli. Machiavelli, we know, is a Florentine statesman who makes an argument about political ideas. He was a politician and a writer. Born in Italy, he was a Florentine statesman. However, as we see a lot of villainous characters being called as evil Machiavel in Renaissance drama, we come to think that Renaissance writers are more interested in adopting Machiavelli as a literary metaphor for evil rather than as a political theorist. For instance, we judge this from characters like Iago in Othello and Ferdinand and Cardinal in The Duchess of Malfi. Iago demonstrates a skillful tactic to manipulate Othello. Ferdinand and Cardinal also manipulate Bossola to carry out their cunning plans. As a result, there is no crime that is not associated with the image of Machiavel, such as poisoning, atheism, fraud, deceit, hypocrisy, treachery, and murder. However, early modern writers' reception of Machiavelli as an immoral figure is not because they fail to understand that Machiavelli cannot be discussed in the realm of morality, since it is an amoral subject that discusses the efficiency of politics. It is also not because they misunderstand Machiavelli's politics. In fact, their use of evil Machiavel is a proof that they understand that English national identity shares many similarities with Machiavelli's political identity, to the extent where they even share the same weakness in their theories. Therefore, early modern writers intentionally employ the misinterpreted form of Machiavelli to demonstrate the same possibility of misinterpreting English national sentiment of Tudor time. Let us first examine English national sentiment during Tudor time. English national consciousness as Puritanism. There was religious revolution during Renaissance time. Henry VIII claims Anglican as national religion, and Elizabeth I oppresses Catholics. English national consciousness as individualistic and equal. As there has been a lot of social mobility, the term nation no longer referred to the minor elite of the society, but instead to people who were rich enough to move up a social ladder. English national sentiment arose with a rising sense of collective individuals. Due to the rebellious and individualistic traits of English nationalism at the time, there was a high risk of raising an illegitimate force. This coincides with the concern in following Machiavelli's politics. Machiavelli's doctrine also explains how to be an efficient ruler and how one must employ skillful rhetoric and discourse to gain one's own power and become competent. He puts an efficiency and economy of ruling above morality and legal system. This yields a risk that it may encourage an illegitimate force, as there is no legal limitations that is put on individuals' practice of their own free will and competence. As a result, English national sentiment during Tudor time shares the same concern and weakness in its idea with that of Machiavelli. Therefore, it is reasonable to believe that a misinterpreted form of Machiavelli in the field of morality and humanity raises an alarm to audience of Renaissance time about raising an illegitimate and immoral force like evil Machiavelli. It is a lesson, then, that the early modern dramatists are giving when they employ Machiavelli as an evil metaphor, that if anyone misunderstands English national identity, which is in line with Machiavelli's theory, and becomes an evil Machiavel, an illegitimate force, one cannot avoid tragedy. Machiavelli is a mechanism they use to give a warning to Renaissance audience that they must not cross line like Machiavelli in interpreting that they must not cross line like Machiavel in interpreting English national sentiment, and that there will be a tragic consequence who misinterprets their similar ideas. With this perspective, we can read Christopher Marlowe's The Jew of Malta. Why does the writer employ Jew to create a prejudice against Jew and to condemn it as evil traits of Machiavel? There is a possibility that it is because Jews were considered a threat during Renaissance time. Jews had their individualistic way of forming solidarity, which is not based on ethnicity, religion, and culture, but based on profits and trades. This was considered odd and strange to English society of Renaissance time. This indicated their potential to be successful on their own independently. Therefore, it signified a possibility of becoming an illegitimate force. Also, Jewish wealth was treated with a lot of contempt in England for a long time of history, as Jews' financial activity influenced English economy either negatively or positively. Before Tudor England began, Edward I had to ban Jews from England as their money-lending business threatened English economy. However, in Tudor England, Jews were re-invited to England to reignite sluggish economy of England. Jews' economic contribution to English society was so great that even religious toleration was considered once. This was a definite threat to Elizabethan monarchy, which holds Protestantism as their national identity. For this reason, Christopher Marlowe draws the Jew Barabbas's wealth and way of forming solidarity as Jewish traits and condemns them as selfish and evil. It is a fear of its potential to become a legitimate force that is encouraging Marlowe to condemn the Jew Barabbas as an evil Machiavel. In conclusion, when we discuss the early modern reception of Machiavelli, we tend to focus only on the fact that they adopted Machiavelli in the field of morality. Because of this way of depiction, many critics conclude that English Renaissance writers do not understand Machiavellian politics. However, English national identity depicted in many Renaissance dramas by early modern writers actually reveal many similar sides with Machiavelli's political theory. English monarchy was almost considered Machiavelli's republic as they praised individualism and equality. They in fact share even the same weakness in their ideas. Therefore, I contend in this video that it is more important to see that early modern writers are aiming at the weak spot in Machiavelli's political theory to invent an evil metaphor of Machiavel. This indicates that their use of evil Machiavel is an expression of their anxiety and concern over the similar weakness in their theory. In short, it is sensible to believe that in the 16th century, Machiavelli symbolized anxieties about the use and abuse of power and about the contingent nature of political authority. Thank you.